I was going to go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings.
You f***ing irritate the shit out of me!
I'm only going to get this one chance. It's just a feeling I've got. Like something's about to happen, but I don't know what.
All I hear, go get the money. So I go get it. Hate means I do something right. So I'm
Hey, what's going on, everybody? All right. I'm excited. Okay, so in the chat, let's see if we can use the chat. Can you guys hear? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see the two screens? Etc. Let's see what we got. Someone's coming in the chat. On screen. Okay, can you guys see me? Yep. Okay, you can see me. Yes, and you can hear me. Hey, what's up, Padilla? I can hear it and see. Thank you, Noah. All right, so I'm excited. We're gonna jump in here in a second. Feel free to throw things at me while I'm doing it. I'll try to keep my eye on both things, but let's just go and have some fun with it. I'm literally just getting off a sales call, so I had no time to think or practice, so this is going to be really interesting. All right, here we go. Please work.
I only have 15 minutes. Let's jump straight. Sure, let's jump straight in. I wasn't really looking for anything specific, but your outreach stood out. Figured I'd hear you out. What's on your mind?
All right, well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes, understanding that, knowing you're a very busy CEO and you just don't take calls for any reason at all. What prompted you to take this one?
Look, your company name came across my desk and it mentioned predictability. That got my attention. I'm here to see if you can actually back that up.
Okay, I like that. That seems to make sense. But understanding that, what is it about predictability that's so important to you? Is that something you're struggling with today?
Yeah, you could say that. Our forecasts are all over the map, and honestly, it screws up my planning. It's frustrating because it feels like we should be able to nail this by now.
Okay, can you tell me a little more about that?
Sure. We've got decent teams and tools, CRM's solid, got analytics plugged in, but the numbers keep jumping around month to month. I mean, last quarter, we thought we'd close at least 30% of the pipeline, but we ended up closer to 20%. That gap? Frustrating as hell, and it slows us down more than we'd like.
Okay, so you missed your forecast by 10%. What did that turn out to in dollars?
I don't have the exact dollar amount right now, but missing that forecast definitely translates into lost revenue. It's a significant impact, especially when you're trying to scale and hit growth targets.
Mm-hmm.
Each percentage point can mean a lot when you're talking about overall ARR.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I understand you don't know it exactly, but could we ballpark it? Did that 10%, did that mean like $1 million?
Yeah, ballpark, it could be in that range or even more depending on the deals we had lined up. But it's tough to pinpoint without looking at the detailed breakdown. Still, it's a significant hit.
All right, so is it fair to say it could be $1 to $2 million in missed deal revenue that quarter?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
It's definitely in that ballpark. Missed opportunities like that add up quickly, especially when we're trying to meet our growth goals.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell me a little more about these growth goals. You keep referencing these. Do you have aggressive growth goals? What's going on?
Yeah, we do. We aimed for about 40% growth year over year, and while we hit our quota, we didn't hit the growth targets we set. Next year, we're looking at a target around 45%. It's all about proving to investors that we can scale effectively.
Wow. Okay, 40%. That's aggressive. What's your current revenue today?
We're hovering around 50 million in ARR right now, so pushing to 70 million to hit that top-end goal for next year. It's a significant leap.
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, your ARR is 50 million, which means you need to generate an additional 20 million in net new business?
Exactly. We've got to close that gap if we want to meet those growth targets. It's a big lift, and we need to get more confidence in our pipeline and execution to back it up.
Okay. You referenced several times confidence in your pipeline execution. Tell me a little bit of how your team is selling today.
Well, the team's pitching can get inconsistent. Sometimes the sales story doesn't align with what marketing promised, which loses momentum. They tend to rush to proposals and throw out pricing too early, scrambling to justify it when pushback comes. It's just not as problem-focused as it needs to be.
Okay. How long has the team been this rush to the demo?
It's been a
Sorry.
no worries.
Let me ask again. How long has your team been selling this way?
It's been like this for quite a while, probably over the last year or so.
Okay. Are you currently using or training your team in any type of methodology or approach, or is this just you've developed an organization where they just sort of everybody sells their own way?
We did roll out a methodology about a year ago, but it kind of sucked. It didn't really stick, probably because we didn't do enough coaching or reinforcement. So it feels like everyone's selling in their own way, which adds to the inconsistency.
Mm-hmm. And this methodology, I don't really care whose it is, but can you tell me what did it emphasize? What were the skill sets that it focused on?
It emphasized understanding the customer's needs, effective questioning, and aligning our solutions to those needs. It was supposed to help with deeper discovery and building value before pitching. But honestly, it didn't translate well into practice.
Okay. I have a couple questions, but I'm going to go here first. So because it didn't translate well, did you see any upticks in some of the key metrics that you are hoping to move, such as average win rate, average
really.
contract value, et cetera?
No, we didn't see much movement in those metrics. The win rates and average contract values have stayed pretty much the same, which is part of why we're frustrated.
Okay. And what were your win rates at the time?
At the time, we were hovering around 25-30% for late-stage deals. It's not where we want it to be, and it feels like it could be better.
Late-stage deals. Interesting. Do you know your win rate from opportunity creation to close?
Yeah, that one's definitely lower, maybe around 10-15%. It's a big gap, and that's part of the problem we're facing.
No, that is a big gap. That's a real big. Do you mind if I ask you this question? Why do you track proposal to close or late stage to close? Why are you focused more on that one?
It's more about understanding our sales cycle and where the bottlenecks are. Late-stage metrics give us a clearer picture of our closing efficiency, but I know we need to dig deeper into the entire pipeline, including opportunity creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been tough to pull that data consistently.
Mm-hmm. So I appreciate where you're coming from, but if I could add one thing, something to consider, as you move forward, whether we work together or not, late stage deal measurement.
Sure,
late stage deal measurement isn't really you want to be, because you talked about bottlenecks. It appears that the real bottleneck is between opportunity creation and getting to proposal stage. You're losing 50% of your won deals there. Have you considered that?
Yeah, that's a valid point. We have to look at that part of the process more closely. It seems like we might be focusing too much on the end stages without addressing where the real losses are happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so from a quota perspective, you said that the team hasn't really moved, but you're at quota. Is the whole team at quota or only a percentage of the team at quota?
Currently, about half of the team is consistently hitting quota. The other half struggles to get there, and that inconsistency is a big part of our challenges.
Mm-hmm. So that part that's not getting, how many salespeople do you have?
We've got around 50 reps right now. So if half are hitting quota, that means around 25 reps are not consistently meeting their targets.
Okay. Of those 25 reps, what percentage are they at? Are those 25 reps on average at 50% of quota, 75% of quota? Roughly where are they?
Most of those 25 reps are probably around 50-60% of quota, so they're significantly behind.
Oh, wow. So if I do my math correctly, the 25 that are at quota are at 150% of quota because you said you're making quota. So that means 25 of your team is carrying the other half. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. The top half of the team is definitely carrying the load, and it's not sustainable long term.
No, that's a great observation. It's not. It's not. Um, what is, by the way, I'm sorry, what is your quota per rep?
The average quota per rep is around 1 million ARR.
Wow. So that means you're leaving approximately 18 to 25 million dollars in ARR on the table.
Yeah, that's definitely the kind. Exactly. It's a significant amount that we need to figure out how to capture.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And then you said something about these growth goals. What's behind these growth goals? What's the sense of urgency to grow so quickly? I think you said something about investment.
Yeah, investors expect us to show scalability and growth. If we don't hit those targets, it puts pressure on their confidence and can slow down our scaling plans. Plus, we're looking to expand into new markets and invest in product development, which all hinges on meeting those numbers.
Okay. That investment in new markets and product development, is that going to come from net profit in the money you're able to drive through sales, or are you looking for a Series B or C to make those investments, and therefore you need to make these numbers to get that investment?
We're likely looking at a Series C in the next 12 to 18 months. So hitting those growth targets definitely keeps those funding conversations smoother. If we miss them, it could complicate things with investors.
Okay, so when you say if you miss them, right now, 50% of your team is not making quota, which is about a $25 million miss. You're going to need to grow 45%. So you need to add an additional 25 million in ARR for next year. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you can't rely on that top 50% or those top 25 reps to double quota. So you really have to move that bottom 25 up to quota and keep the other group at 150% of quota. Am I getting the numbers right? Am I correct there?
Yeah, you've got it right. We can't just rely on the top half to carry us. We need to get the bottom half up to quota while maintaining the performance of the top reps to hit those ambitious growth targets.
Okay. Look, I think I have a good understanding of what's going on, but I have a couple more questions around what your team is actually doing. Could you share with me the differences you see in the bottom half of people and the top half of people and what they're actually doing?
The top half tends to be more proactive in their approach. They do better discovery, ask the right questions, and tailor their pitches to the customer's needs. The bottom half, on the other hand, often rushes to the demo and doesn't dig deep enough into the customer's problems. There's a noticeable difference in how they engage with prospects and follow up, which leads to those inconsistencies in performance.
Okay. When you lose customers, what is the main reason they tell you, or what do you believe to be the reason that customers don't go with you?
A lot of the time, we lose to the status quo. Customers aren't convinced enough to make it.
Sorry, keep going. I interrupted.
No problem. It feels like we need to strengthen our messaging and ensure that the sales team is really understanding and addressing the customer's specific pain points. When they rush through the process, it doesn't establish enough urgency or value, which ultimately leads to lost opportunities.
So if I heard you correctly, the team is unable to actually demonstrate enough value in the early stages of the conversation to get people to move forward, and therefore the defaulting to not changing. Did I get that correctly?
Yeah, that's exactly it. If we don't establish that value early on, prospects tend to stick with what they know rather than making a change. It's a big hurdle for us.
Okay. All right. I'd like to take a second to repeat back what I've learned, and you tell me if I've missed anything. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So what I heard is you invested in a methodology about a year ago and it didn't stick, primarily because your sales management didn't make it stick. In addition, because of that, your sales team is still selling in a problem-centric way. They're too focused on rushing to the demo, selling to features and benefits, etc. Primarily, a good portion of that is the lower half of your sales team, who is anywhere between 50 to 60% at quota, where the other 25 on your sales team are 150% of quota or more, making that up. Because of that separation, you're concerned that you will not be able to make your growth goals next year because that's too much of a lift for that top 25. And so therefore you need to move that bottom 25 at least to quota to make up that 20 to $25 million and allow you to get to 75 million. If I'm also understanding you correctly, that 75 million is important because you need to be able to raise a Series C in about 18 months in order to increase product development and expand in markets. So if I've got that right, I'm deducing it to, from your perspective, those bottom 25 people have to be leveled up and have to produce more next year or you're in trouble. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you nailed it. That's a solid recap of where we stand. If we can't get that bottom half up to quota, it's going to be a tough road ahead for hitting those growth targets and securing that next round of funding.
Okay. So understanding all that, I absolutely think ASG can help you. I think gap selling would be an excellent fit. Are you open to a call next week to walk through how gap selling can help you, what we can do for you, etc.?
I appreciate that. I'm open to hearing more about it, but I want to be clear that I need to see how it specifically addresses our challenges before moving forward. Let's set up a time to dive deeper next week.
Perfect. Understood. I think we can do that. Thanks for all the information.
Sure thing. Thanks for the conversation. Looking forward to our next chat.
Peace out. All right. I know this is a webinar, so I can't see everybody. Let me see if I can see. So, guys, what did that take me? I think 15 minutes exactly. 15 minutes exactly. What are your thoughts? If you want to raise your hand and come on and talk, how many people we got on this? I can bring a lot of people, and if other people want to come in and engage, what are your thoughts? What questions do you have? What did you see? What did you learn? Let's make this a little fun one. So let's see what we got. Raise your hand or throw in the comments. So let's have some conversation. So Abdullah, yes. What self-diagnosing question did you have? Because I think a lot of people get confused in that concept of self-diagnosing. You want to come in and have a chat, bro? I can let you in. All right, let me figure out how to get you in here. Hold on. There we go. And other folks, come on now. Let's have a conversation here, right, everybody? Oh, your hand's raised. Okay, Scott, let me see. Scott, you want to come in? I'll bring Abdullah in, and let's all promote to panelists. Come on in, Scott. I'm going to let you in. And promote to panelist. And Michael Lean, you got your hand up. Promote to panelist. So you guys can all come in. Anybody who wants to come in and have a conversation and talk through this, throw your hand up. Let's have some fun with this. What prompted you to take that meeting? That's not self-diagnosing at all. I could never know that. So we can talk about that. All right, Abdul, I can't see you, but you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so when I say,
Sorry, go.
sorry.
Yep, go.
Yeah, no, when I say you asked a few self-diagnosis questions, I realized you did it differently from the way like I may do it in a call. So I noticed you asked him something along the lines of like, why do you like measure proposal to win rate?
Yes,
Like,
okay.
that's a self-diagnosis question, but I felt like you needed to know that in a sense before you could.
Yes.
So that was really interesting to see. That was really,
Yes.
really cool.
So here's everybody pay attention. Here's the big difference between a self-diagnosing question and a non-self-diagnosing question when I ask them their opinion. So, and I understand I've created confusion around this, so it's my fault. When I bark at people for making self-diagnosing questions, it's when they ask a question like, why do you think you're not making quota? Okay. I'm literally asking the buyer to go figure out something on their own that is subjective and doesn't get us anywhere, where I can ask questions that can help me understand that. So a self-diagnosing question in my world is like a doctor saying, so why do you think you're sick? What the fuck? I'm here to talk to you. I don't know. That's your job. The doctor should be able to ask questions like, what do you eat? Have you been exposed to something? Do you have a family history? They can get to why you're sick. What they can't do is say, can you help me understand why you continue to eat fatty foods knowing you had a cholesterol issue 6 years ago? I don't know the answer to that. There's no way I could ever figure that out. Do you see the difference, Abdul? Or Dula, I'm sorry.
Big difference. Big
Yes.
difference.
There are certain things I just can't know, and there's no questions that would be effective to get to know that. So for me to try to ask surrounding questions on why they measure from late stage to early stage, that would be awkward, don't you think, Abdul? Is it Abdul or Abdullah? I can't.
Abdullah.
Abdullah, sorry. Can you see how that would be confusing, Abdullah? That would just be weird. Rather than
Yeah.
just saying, all right, bro, so you do this as opposed to this, why? That's not self-diagnosing to me, that's clarification.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I really like that frame of doctors where, like, if a doctor asked me this, would I think he's kind of a bad doctor? I really like that frame.
Right? Yes, yes. Okay, I brought some more people in. Where are you? So come on, folks. I love that everybody's here. You guys have been asking this for years. I finally did it. Here's a chance to play, ask questions. Let's go. Who's next? Shoot, I can't see the. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Wait. Who's that? I can't see
That's me,
everybody.
Scott. Sorry.
Is that Abdullah?
No, Scott.
Okay, Scott. I don't know why I can't see you, but that's okay.
Yeah, camera's not working.
Okay. All right. Good. What's your question, bro?
So no, like how you were doing, like kind of the self-diagnosing questions, got that. But you were also trying to find out like what his problem was, and then you kind of just kept diving in layer by layer, kind of trying to figure out what his need was behind his need. So it wasn't just one layer thick; it was multiple layers you were peeling back. So
100%. Yeah. Because remember it from the book, and I've talked, why is my thing so weird? I'm so close all of a sudden, I can't see people. But there we go. So no, Scott, the reason I do this, and as I talk about in the book, my goal is to understand. Does everybody get that? Like, my goal is to understand. And so if I just ask one high level question, but I don't understand why, right? Or what's going on, then I can't really provide much value, can I?
Right. And
Right.
and then it's like you have to understand why, what is it behind it, so you can give them basically like a with them. What's in it for me? Well, what's in it for them by working with me?
So yes, exactly. And you saw that. Come on, like, so wait, really quickly. I'm seeing Matt Rubinson. I want to answer your question. So why don't you come in, bro? I'll add you. Joey Woodward, come on in. Matt Spencer, let's all come in so I can get your questions and answer them to you. So just throw your hands up. Throw your hands up and I'll bring you on. But yes, there you go, Matt. Sorry, Scott, I'm all over the place. But yes, Scott, if you noticed what I did here is by the end of this, and I did in 15 minutes almost exactly, right? And remember all these times when people used to do Gap Sell Keenan, they were all over the fucking place and couldn't get anywhere. I ask questions. I don't know how many of you noticed this based on the answers they gave me or that I gave me. Did any of you notice that? I didn't just shift all over the place. They gave me an answer. I listened to that answer, right? And then I formulated my next question based on that answer. So to your point, Scott, if you notice with that with them, in that 15 minutes, I got to what was the problem, right? Which was win rates and quota attainment by 50% of the team. Do you all agree with that? I guess you can't. Yes. Do you agree with that, Scott?
Absolutely.
Right. Then I got to the impact. Do you remember what the impact was?
To increase AAR.
No. That's the outcome. What's the impact of not fixing this?
Oh, of not fixing it, having the answer to the shareholders.
No. See, even watching people miss this. What was the impact?
Not getting funding?
Yes. And if they don't get the funding, they cannot invest in new markets and additional product, which I probably could have asked them. I could have got better and said, in addition, therefore, you run the risk of losing to the competition or whatever the case may be, right? So and then I even got to the root causes, right? Did you guys notice that? I got to the root causes because I was able to figure out why they're not doing it. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So Joey Woodward, yes. How important is that you expand? Yes. I wouldn't die if you asked that question. I'd prefer what's driving it to expand and what happens if you don't. I don't like that's self-diagnosing to me. How important is it? Of course it's fucking important. Like, of course, right? So I get why you want to do that, but I'm okay if you stop there. Everybody gets it. You got investors who aren't getting the return on their money. They can't go public. Like, there's a whole million reasons that we can go to that, but you're still good there. All right, Michael. Lean, what I see you, Brady. What you got?
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, a point in there, the self-diagnosis was when the AI Keenan shared that he was missing his revenue targets by 10%. And what you did was you said, well, what does that mean in terms of dollars?
Yeah.
And then he gave you that surface level, I'm not really sure, I don't have that in front of me. And you didn't accept that. You went,
Nope.
ballpark then. Give me a ballpark. Because in order to get the buyer to accept or take responsibility of this problem, they have to own the number on it as well. Right? So that questioning allowed him to sort of sit back and say, gosh, yeah, I'm thinking of this in terms of 10%. I've actually not thought about it and articulated it. It's self-discovery at its finest. Oh, gosh, yeah. Every percentage point could represent a lot of money when you're talking about a $50 million enterprise. So I thought that was good. And I put something in the chat earlier I just wanted to address too. That what compelled you to take this meeting wasn't a self-diagnosis question, but I am always amazed at the way that a discovery starts. That is a brilliant way to do it because, again, it's ownership, it's self-discovery, but you also did a great job. When he said predictability, that stood out to me. He said, what does that mean to you? A lot of sales reps would just go, oh, predictability. Yeah, we do that. Great. And they go on to the next thing. Right. So I thought that was an awesome job. Love that.
Thank you. Okay. Wait, because I can't see people's faces. Matt Rubenstein, I think you had a question. I can't see you. So come on in, or do you still have a question? Oh, wait. Okay. I see you, Abdullah, but I want to make sure I get to everybody. But you can stay on camera. I love it. I feel like I'm looking at people. I'm not in the dark. Hey, Ruby. What's up, baby?
Yeah, big fan of your work. I read both, Not Todd and Gap Selling, recommended to a lot of people. And anyways, so
Not Todd. I think that's the best book of all of them, to be honest with you.
It's pretty good. Yeah. So, and I hope this is recorded so we can review it. But the question is like, because I've been in the situation where you're asking questions and trying to establish there's a problem, and then they kind of get that fatigue, right? And so how do you know that they are set up so they won't get fatigued? Because you really went in there, but they, in this case it worked out. But like, how do you know whether they're kind of ready for that?
So I have a very strong belief, and like anything else, guys, nothing is 100%. Okay, so for whatever reason, Western culture or sales, the world, we're very freaking binary, right? It's like, oh, it's either this or that. No, it's not. But I believe, generally speaking, the majority of the time, buyer fatigue comes from shitty fucking questions, right? It's like I ask, so let's just say he said, oh, it's predictability. And then I said, okay, so how are you guys doing this? And then he answered that, okay, so how many salespeople do you have in your team? And then he answered it, so are you the manager or not? Right? There's no connection. So after answering 3, 5, 7, 9, 12 questions that seem disjointed, fucking lack any direction, they're like, okay, fuck this, I'm done. Can you just get on with it? But when they're connected and the person is brought along on the journey and they can understand or grasp why those questions matter, there's never buyer fatigue, ever. Right? As I just said, ever in binary, but you get my point. Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and look, I can't teach EQ. Jeb Blunt, wrote a book on it. I don't know. Use your EQ and watch them. Like literally watch them. And I'm not afraid if I feel that my questions are good and they're not involved, I will stop and say, hey, listen, it feels like the questioning. Oh, what? I didn't even know I do this. It feels like the questioning is not providing value. Can I go somewhere else, or am I missing something? Because that's the key, everybody. I've never said this before. You guys all learned something new. The key is the questions should be valuable in themselves. The job of a salesperson is to get the buyer to reflect. Everybody pay attention to that. The job of the salesperson is to get the buyer to reflect. And if your questions do not get them to reflect, then it's going to be buyer fatigue. Was that helpful?
Very.
Okay.
Thank you.
Michaeline asked this question. Scott asked this. Spencer, come on in, baby. Ruben, oh, Matt could have stayed on. I like when I see people. Stay on. Abdul, you're my guy. Yeah, there you go, Matt. Everybody stay on. Turn on your cameras. Let's go. Let me see. All right. Thank you, Michael. Spencer. Oh, yes. Oh, look at, wait, you and Matt almost look like you're in the same room. In the white room with dark curtains. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
what do you got, Spence?
The boiler room. No, thanks for doing this, Keenan. This was super impactful. My question was kind of already asked by Mike, but it was more to do with the information that you're looking for. If it's not provided, how you kind of think about pivoting. Or, I get you didn't accept that one answer, but if you really can't get to it, is there a strategy? Is there something in your mind you're going to pivot to kind of get that or work around that?
Yeah. So I think it depends on why you can't get to it, right? So if the buyer says, I'm not going to give it to you, then I explain why it's important. And I say, okay, if you don't feel comfortable, I appreciate it. Let me explain to you why this is important to this process. And I'm willing to earn the right to get it later. But without it, I think it impacts my ability to make the appropriate recommendation to you when that time comes. Okay. If it's because they don't know it, then I'm like, hey, no problem at all. Same thing. This is why it's important. This is how it helps me help you. And so if by the next call, if you could get it, or is there a place you could steer me to get it, et cetera. And again, explaining why it's important. Now, if you notice in both of my examples, Spencer, and everybody else listening, I'm still driving to the idea that this is about you, buyer. This is about you. This isn't about me. I'm trying to figure out how I can help you. Yes, it costs money. Yes, you have to pay me. Yes, there are other options, but that's not the fucking point. The point is, I'm trying to position myself in a way to give you the best recommendation or the best suggestions possible. And the less information I have, the less I can do that.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I'm going to go back to Abdullah. Others, if you have questions, raise your hands and I'll bring you in. And also, everybody still listen. We're still holding a decent crowd, not as big as yesterday, but still, everybody do me a favor. And either now or while we're doing this or whatever, go on LinkedIn and tell people how badass this was and what they thought about it, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Okay. Abdullah asked your question. And before you do that, Andre, come on and ask your questions. Andre, raise your hand and I'll bring you on. Let me see, Matt, Michael, Shane. It sounded complete opposite to a scripted interrogation. Shane, what do you mean by that? Come on, raise your hand so I can have you come in and we can talk about that. Andre, yes, I can do that, but not to the end. Okay, I think that's everybody. All right, so what's your question, Abdullah?
Yeah, so it's very similar to what Spencer asked. A lot of times, when I'm an inbound BDR, so a lot of times when people come to me, it's usually going to be like either manager level or below, and they might not know a lot of the things that I'm looking for, or like when they do give answers, they feel like they're like kind of confused by the questions in a sense.
Yeah.
I guess like what do you do in situations like that? Because I noticed you were speaking to a CEO, so he really understood like the big picture, the impacts, the problems they were trying to solve. But I feel like a manager thinks differently and different things like that. Like even me, I think differently from my manager, and it's like
okay, so thinking differently versus understanding the problem are two entirely different things. So if you have an inbound, my first suggestion, without spending a million hours asking you a bunch of questions, would be to start the same thing, the call the same way I started here. What prompted you to call in? What was your motivation to come and want to talk to us? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. Well, then somewhere in there you're messing up. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if you ask somebody why they called in and they give you an answer, and then you ask them a question that they don't know the answer is confusing, and they're like, I don't know why I'd even need to know that. That means you probably got off the reservation. You know what I'm saying? And in the few times that you didn't get off the reservation, you can just simply come back and say, okay, let me explain to you why this information is important. It was important. as their position, right, or XYZ company, the reason this information is important, why I'm asked for it, is it dictates this or drives this or it can affect that. And you said the reason you wanted to talk was you try to accomplish this. Without this information, it makes this a problem. What this creates, you see where I'm going? You got to tie back to them why it's fucking important. And the fact they didn't know it, you got to be a dipshit, right? So, or you fucked up. Like, or you fucked up.
It's me. I'm fucking
you
up,
went
most
way,
likely.
way off the reservation if they were like, why do I need to know that? Does that help?
No, not necessarily like why do I need to know that? It's just a lot of times like they don't know the answer.
Well, okay, that's different. If they don't know the answer because they just don't know it, I already answered it for you, and that is just explain to them why it's important and go back and get it. If they don't know why it's important to know it, or they don't understand why they should know it, and they feel the question is out of left field, then you either did that or they lack a level of knowledge you need to educate them on.
Okay. No, that's
Is
perfect.
that helpful?
Thank you, Keenan.
Yeah.
100%. Oh my goodness.
Okay, Andre, what's up, my man? And then let me see who else. Wiz, I think I just saw someone else come on here. One other person. Come on, camera. But go, Andre. Am I saying that right? Andre?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you are not, but that's fine. I can live with that. No worries. So good to see you. Thank you for doing all that. My pleasure to be a spectator of such a great event. Quick question, actually two of them. How do you know when the problem is uncovered and it's time to move to the impact identifying part? And afterwards, once impact is identified, then it's time to move on to the root causes analysis, doing discovery.
I don't do them in order. So I take what the buyer gives me. Now, there are times that based on the answers, I can shift. So, once he told me from a problem perspective that it was almost, we got to the point where we realized it was almost $25 million. I knew that problem was big enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to figure out why is it $25 million? Like what's going on? So I shifted to find root causes. But generally speaking, I don't necessarily care how I get the information, what the order is, right? I can jump in and out of problem questions, root cause questions, impact questions. I can bounce all around as long as I get it. The answer is when do I have enough? When it makes sense. Like literally, I don't sound like a jerk, but when it fucking makes sense. It's $25 million problem, that makes sense. Our Series C is on the line, that makes sense, right? 50% of my team is less than 60% of quota, that fucking makes sense, right? If he had said, it's costing about $200,000 or $300,000, and but one or two people on. I just think it'd be better to I just want to uptrain the team. I just want to get them uptrained. All right, well, are you going to make your number? Oh yeah, we'll make it probably exceed it by 10%. Well, then what the fuck are we doing here? And if they keep saying, I just want to train my team, I don't believe I'll win that deal. Because the minute I tell him it's going to cost him $200,000, I don't want to spend that much. Well, no shit. If you just want to upscale your team, you better have a reason to spend $200,000. Now, what I could do is flip that and say, if your team was this much better, do you believe that you could go from 110% a quarter, 125% a quarter? Yeah, that's what I really want to do. I want to overperform. Okay, great. How much is overperforming? Well, if we get to 125% a quota, that is actually $7 million. Okay, now I'll talk to you. And so even though it's a nice to have, you told me that if you believe you can get your team to here, that's $7 million. Well, do you want to pay the $200,000 to get them to $7 million?
Got it. And how do you know that impact is big enough for the prospect to move on to the next stage?
Okay. I'm just going to have fun with you, Andre, because you're really nice to me online and everything. So I'm just going to have fun with you. So don't take it personally. If you don't fucking know if it's big enough, go into a different business. Right. Andre, I'm giving you shit, but the relationship is really, it comes down to what am I charging? What's the context of the business, right? So in this case, they're a $50 million business, $25 million on the table. Series C is at risk. They won't be able to expand and scale. They're already invested at Series A and B, which means they'll be fucking pissed off. What do you mean, when do you know? That's clear as day, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to be a jerk. I don't know how else to answer it because it's going to be different for every company. But if you can't figure out am I late for something? Sean's texting me. Ending the screen share. Oh yeah, I'll end the screen share. Sorry guys. I'll end the screen share. If you can't figure out why or what makes something a big impact, that's more of a business acumen issue to me than it is an actual selling issue. And I'm pretty confident, Andre, that you are very good at figuring that out. But that's my answer. It's different every time, and you just have the business acumen to know what it is.
Thank you. This is helpful. Appreciate it, Keenan.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Who else got questions? Who else wants to jump in? Let's go. How often do you get me to go through this stuff? Let me see. Let me see. Where am I? Okay. Nobody else says Whitney. Abdul. Okay. He's like, I'm taking advantage of no one else. Let's go. What you got, bro?
I'll take it. I'll take it. So one thing I'm like actively trying to do, I saw your post on like coachability as well, is I'm trying to get better at coaching myself. So sometimes like I review my calls on Gong and I'll leave comments for myself. The thing that I'm working on right now is really going back to the current state and like, figuring out why did they need to change. That's the thing I'm working on right now.
Yep.
But I guess like how do you think about coaching yourself? Like how do you know you're doing a good job? How do
Great.
you
And
measure
it's the
success?
shameless plug. Fucking great. Go. If your company won't do it and you want to send me an email, I can try to, or go to I got to put a link. Sean, give me a link. Sean, put a link in here, please, and go buy what you just saw. So we have an AI coaching tool that you can talk to me. It'll fit your buyer personas. You can do role plays. It'll score those role plays. You can come back in and talk to me about those. You can upload Gong calls. You can upload transcripts. It'll tell you what the thought of those transcripts. It'll create a plan for you over a 4-week period, telling you to work on different things, how to get the current state, how to find impact. So Andre might be struggling with impact. So they'll set up role plays with your actual buyer persona and help you test on finding impact, and then give you a score on that. Come back and talk to me and I'll tell you what to do. So go buy that. Seriously.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, go buy that. That is the best. You'll get more out of that value than anything else.
So is that being trained on like the pick chart you give it, or how does
Yes.
it, like what
Yes,
information do you give
yep.
it?
So the AI itself has been trained on everything we've created, and it's constantly being fixed and updated. The buyer personas are built automatically. You tell them what you want. We go out and we actually build buyer personas that look like your buyers. You upload your pick. So it's based on your pick. Now, if you fuck it up, I can't help you there, but it's based on your pick. And it is very, 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 very real. I mean, you saw that just there, right? You saw what happened. So yes. Matt.
Yeah, not sure this is the forum, but I'm really curious when Gap prospecting comes out, because I want to check that out.
January, I hope. But sign up for the training. What are you waiting for? So Sean, put the training link in here too. So you guys can go get AI Keenan yesterday, and you can actually talk to me, work with me, do role plays, everything I said. And we're doing a gap selling training. Gap prospecting training at the end of the month. You'll get the book for free as part of it. You'll get Will and I doing the training. You will get a t-shirt, a free Slack channel that people can participate in as we ask questions. You'll get a whole bunch of AI scripts. It is the bomb. And if you truly care about improving your connect rates, improving your conversion rates, don't wait for a book that you have to figure out how to do yourself. Like, this is, for a limited number of people, the first exposure and full-on training of it at the end of the month. So go sign up for that, bro. Next question. Michael, did you have a question?
No, but I just thought we're going to have a member of the team join the Gap prospecting webinar. And I thought a good way to reinforce that would be to have an AI Keenan, because we know that sometimes retention in terms of sales coaching can be a challenge. But I love that you've made that available to individuals too, so you don't have to necessarily get your company to invest. Look at me putting on a shameless plug. I'm selling myself. I'm self-diagnosing right now. See that? Beautiful. So no, this is really good. I appreciate this. And that tool seems very capable, which is cool. So it's great to see in action. Always love watching you do a discovery though. My biggest takeaway is reject those surface level answers, right? We're taught to ask surface level questions. And so often, and I see this affecting sales teams everywhere, we just sort of take that initial response and think we've checked the box. Oh, predictability. Okay, good. But you haven't because you don't truly understand, right? So this was awesome.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed. Shane, beautiful. Again, everybody, go sing the praises of this thing on LinkedIn. Let's get people knowing about this. Let's get people talking. Shane, yes, your question. And before you ask it, everybody, I would also like if anybody wants to share, or you can say it in the comments, how different was this from the Shane, don't go anywhere. The 75 previous gap cell Keenans. Can you guys see a real difference in what what I do and what I teach versus what people are doing when they reached out to me? So talk in the comments or raise your hand if you want to share that. Shane, how you doing, baby?
Yeah, good, thanks, Keenan. So I have been using this for the past couple of months, and I had compared it to a couple of other tools. And what I really noticed was there's far more coaching in this tool. I noticed some of the other tools are a bit more prescriptive and they're a bit more give it the answer, whereas this really is the essence of coaching, where it forces you, the coachee, to think. So there's a lot of value in that, and I'm not trying to plug this either, but you know, if that's what a person wants, to be really coached, this is the right tool for them. But the reason I'm here is one of the comments I left was it sounded a complete opposite to a scripted interrogation. And what I meant by that was it's clearly because you're not using a script, and it's easy to observe that your questions are based on the answers from your previous question. And it's great to see that in action.
Dude, you're a genius. That's exactly what it's about, right? A woman who used to work for me, she called it fearless curiosity. And so whenever I go into a discovery, I'm truly and genuinely at my heart going in to understand. And I actually play this out in my life. Right earlier this morning, a friend called, hadn't talked to her in a long time, and she apologized for not calling. And she goes, "I got to be honest with you. When I have a call with you, I have to be prepared." She goes, "You just won't have surface level conversations. So if I say to you, I'm doing great, then you'll say, well, tell me about that. What's going on?" And then if I give you any answer that seems like I'm inconsistent, you just fucking go there. And I'm not always ready to go there. So sometimes I avoid calling you just because I don't want to get into it. So it's funny. That's just my natural nature. Just learn to be genuinely curious and get under the covers. I called it stripping a long time ago. You got to keep stripping layers back, right? Until you get to what's really going on, positive or negative. Like there's no agenda in this to me. When I do this, I assume something is going wrong or you wouldn't be on the phone, but there's no agenda. I'm truly, genuinely trying to see this as clearly as possible so that when we finally get to the stage that says, I can help you, you trust that I can help you. Why? Because you know I understand what's going on.
And that attitude really comes across on the coaching tool as well, because sometimes I've asked you questions on it to the AI and you go so fucking deep into it. I actually just hang up, Keenan, because my brain needs to be in the right place to be able to engage back. But it's fantastic.
Beautiful, beautiful. And look, Shane, I appreciate it because I remember, I'm going to put you on the spot. I apologize if you upset you, that at first you felt Udly, our competition, was a better tool. And one of the challenges we have is we're not a role play tool. We purposely set out to be a coaching tool that, we purposely set out to be a coaching tool that uses role play to get better. We aren't a role play tool. That's why, to your point, sometimes it's not prescriptive or just, repetitive or it's sort of, structured. It's designed to literally get you to think. It's designed to coach you and bring you along. And the cool part is I just had a product conversation today. The next level of this is going to be complete deal support. So you can sit and say, hey, I'm struggling with this deal. What did I miss? What do I need to see? And we're going to be able to go in and say, okay, you got this. So then we can combine the coaching, the role play and skills development, and the deal success all together. So, I mean, this is just the beginning. We're going places that other people are trying to run check boxes, and it's like, oh, well, everybody went through it and they're onboarded and we certified them. No, fuck that. We're not in that business. That's how you did it the old way. We're going to make this a way that you have a little guy on your shoulder that gets you through everything, makes you better, closes more deals, and gives you the path to do all that.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. All right. Someone else had a question or wait, I see some stuff in the chat. What do we got? What do we got? Matt Rubinson. Yes, you got a question. You're on here too. What do you got, Matt?
Oh, no, sorry. I was just throwing in a few things. Like I was just saying, like the live coaching series on YouTube, because I checked the last one was 10 months ago. Like, and just seeing how it works, just seeing your process, just really helps.
Good. Great. I love it. Let me see. Spencer. Yes, go, my man. Oh, he was on here.
Yeah. Hey, Keenan, I'm here. No, I just threw
good.
something in the chat saying you were asking about what we kind of thought about the call, and I was just saying you knew exactly what you were looking for. That's the big difference between a lot of the previous calls that we've seen, like for gap selling. It's knowing exactly what you were looking for and what you needed to kind of get there. So,
and where do you think that comes from? How do I know what I'm looking for? Based on what?
Based on your pick. Know your pick. Hey!
Yeah! Everybody's still here. It's all about the pick. Well done, Spence, bro. Well done. Okay. Anybody new? Anybody else? Anybody want to ask another question? Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
good
just
man,
on the
Jonathan. Wait, I got a new guy. All right, let's bring him in. Abdullah, I haven't forgotten you, but anytime we can get someone new in, I get excited. Jonathan Mahan. I hope that's Mahan. This has been fun. And by the way, just so you guys know, I was nervous, not because it wouldn't work. I understood my entire credibility was on the table. And if I didn't do this right, I was in trouble. All right, John, what do you got, baby?
Hey.
Jonathan, I apologize.
Oh, no sweat. So I'm doing some work with Celeste right now. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it. One topic which I'm going to be talking to her about, I want to get your take on too, is to what extent is it my job to find the thing my prospect already cares about and then, build out a killer business case for it and convince them I'm the right solution? And to what extent is it my job to try to make them care about something that initially they don't care about? Reason I ask is that, the tool I'm selling can solve a lot of different problems, which can manifest a lot of different ways. Most organizations probably have at least a little bit of these problems going on in every category. But if their initial reaction to that category is, I'm actually happy with that, I don't want to spend the time to try to take them up and down the pick chart and convince them to care. I'd rather say, fine, you're happy with that, then I'm happy with that too. Let's find something you're not happy with and explore that better. So to what extent do I find what they're already unhappy with? And to what extent do I have to make them unhappy about something they previously were happy with?
Wow, that's a powerful question, bro. That's a powerful question. Let me just check my schedule and make sure I don't have something coming up. Okay, no, I'm good. So that's a powerful question. And the answer comes down to it depends on how important it is for you to make your number, right? So when someone says, I'm good with something, that suggests to me that you asked them or put them in a position to, that's self-diagnosing. That to me, if someone says to me, oh, I'm good with that, I'm happy with that, you asked a bunch of questions that were self-diagnosing, or you asked that question outright, are you happy with? And here's the example. I think many of you heard me do this before. It's like the marriage question. How many of you are married here? Raise your hand. Okay. If I asked you guys, and don't answer, if you're happily married, unless you're on the edge of divorce, you're going to say yes, right? Especially if you don't know me that well. Maybe if your buddy, are you happy? He's like, I don't know. But generally speaking, you're going to say yes. So asking that question is just dumb. So what I really want to do is say, okay, hey, I understand you're married. Yes. So can you help me understand, how often do you and your wife fight, or you and your spouse, whatever? How often do you fight? Right? And then I listen to that answer. And then how well are you able to resolve those when you do fight? Oh, not very good. So then what happens? You spend the night on the couch? Yes. Spend the night. How often do you spend the night on the couch? When's the last time you brought her home something, or him home something that was special and sweet without them asking, and did something special? When's the last time you set up a date night without anybody knowing? You see what I'm saying? And as I ask these questions, I will fucking know. I will know if your marriage is in trouble, if it could be better, or if it's perfect, right? And if it could be, let's pick the middle one. They're happy, but it could be better. The minute I get to those things, now the question isn't am I happy in my marriage, is would I like to be in a marriage where I'm not sleeping on the couch as often? Would I like to be in a marriage where I can resolve issues faster without as much conflict? If the answer to that is yes, then it doesn't matter that you're happy. It is you could be happier and you don't like where you are now. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's your job as a salesperson. 100% that's your job as a salesperson. The question then becomes, do you know where to do it, how to do it, in comparison to the other places you could go? And that's going to be situational, and that's going to be up to you. And that's over my pay grade in this moment without asking more questions. Did that answer your question?
Mostly with the
And
marriage.
where did I miss?
I was like, with the marriage analogy, let's say, right, there's, I don't know, 5 different areas of a person's marriage you can help, right? Finances, handling conflict, parenting, etc. If you're doing a discovery call and you say, hey, how about finances? And they're like, no, actually, we feel pretty good about the way we manage finances. Do you keep digging and say, are you sure?
Wait.
We're so good? Or do you just move on to another category?
Say that again.
So
notice what question you just asked. What question you just say to me right there? How about finances?
Yeah, how about finances, right? A lot of couples fight over that. How are you guys feeling about that, right? Is that a point?
Look what you just did. It's almost like I'm talking to a wall. I'm sorry, but look what you just did. You literally just said, how do you feel about that? That is anybody that's a self-diagnosing question, and you're dead in the water. What you need to say is, look, they're on the call. There's a reason they're on the call. So the first thing you do, if you ask them, what prompted you to come here today? That should guide you. Well, my wife and I fight over finances. Okay. Or I was just curious on how you help people with finances. They're going to tell you. Can we agree on that? No?
Sure.
Okay. So once they lead you in a direction, right? I'm just curious about how you help people with finances. The next question should be, fantastic. Can you tell me what you're struggling with today regarding finances? Now I'm in the problem. See what I'm saying? If I ask them, are you happy with it? You're hosed. You're done. Did that help?
Certainly for an inbound lead, usually with an outbound.
Okay. If an outbound, then you need to lead with the problem. So in the outbound, I'm going to say, hey, so-and-so, it is not uncommon for us to see people in marriages struggle with resolving conflict, particularly around finance. Here are 2 of the 3 things that always trip up couples. Boom, 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 boom. Does that sound familiar? If so, I'd love to be able to have a chance to tell you about how we solve those and get you back on track.
And if they say it's not perfect, but I'm not really worried about it, do I keep digging or do I move on to a new topic?
Oh, wait. You're moving the goalposts. So you just said to me, that's great for inbound. So again, hear me. Stop asking questions where they can say, I'm okay with finances. Stop asking those questions, okay? Instead, you want to ask them about what's going on, not an opinion, okay? Whatever it is. And then if you, through those questions, everything is good on their answers. Oh, I've saved $1 million. Oh, I never have to worry about money again. Oh, we never fight. We never do. Okay, great. So let me ask you this question now. As it relates to intimacy, as it relates to, can you walk me through that? How frequently, blah, blah, blah. I don't got to be careful on this, right? How blah, blah. And listen to the answers. Stop asking the question, what do they think about? That's what's getting you in trouble. Are you hearing me now?
Cool. Yep. I like it.
Are you sure?
I'll use that.
Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. Abdullah, and then we'll take one more after Abdullah, and I will let everybody go. Great job, though. Great job, Jonathan.
So Keenan, to go back to your point of like what was different about this call.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things was you were actually processing what they were saying rather than listening to what they were saying. One of the things that I've struggled with when it comes to curiosity is I get curious about the wrong things.
Oh,
so
interesting.
To give you a very specific example is like this was a few months back, and I noticed this issue where somebody like I would say like, what's going on in your organization today that made you want to look at our company, for example, and they would start talking and they would start going, well, we really need this, we really need this, we really need this, we really need this, and they would start like listing off features and stuff, and I would become curious about like how they would be using the features rather than trying to understand why those features were important, or like, is that because you're not able to do this or you're not able to do that? I became curious about the wrong thing. I became curious about like the solution. Whereas with you, like your whole brain was like, why do you even need the feature in the first place? And everything was just going back to that. And that was so interesting to see.
You nailed it. And you did a great job of self-assessment, right? A lot of people do this. So I still do a lot of role play, but you can imagine we're pushing more of it more to AI Keenan. But I would do these role plays and I would tell them something and they do exactly what you did. So tell me how you're doing this and how do you process this? And do you do it manually? And I'm like, where are you going? You don't even know why I have a problem. You're just going right to what's called process or root causes. Don't go to root causes right away. Go to the problem and why is the problem existing? Or why do I have a problem? What is the problem? Right? And how is it affecting me? And then start asking the root cause questions. So great observation. Well done. You know what to do now. Great job.
I'm a gap seller. One day.
Okay. One last question? All right. Everybody, thank you very much. Was it helpful? Beautiful.
Very.
100%.
Beautiful. All right, listen, everybody, go get yourself Gap Up AI Keenan. Tell everybody on LinkedIn, please share what this experience was like on LinkedIn. I will post this on LinkedIn here shortly when it's done. And it'll be on, obviously, in YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. But thank you. Gap Prospecting, before I don't sign up for Gap Prospecting, be the first. Be the first. Tell your company to pay for it. I don't care. But you don't want to miss it. It's going to be sick. Typical ASG Gap method. You're going to be blown away. So with that, everybody, thank you very much. You guys know what I'm going to say. Peace. I'm out.
All I hear, go get the money. So I go get it. Hate means I do something.